Hi everyone, Lord Rho here with the new upload, and today we are talking about the avenging son himself, Roboute Guilliman, and how not only does he know about the curses that are afflicting two of his brothers' lineage, but that he may be trying to possibly cure them too. So, once again, spoiler warning to any and all who aren't up to date with the current lore, particularly the events of the novel The Dark Imperium from the Black Library. I do recommend going to purchase this, as always. The fantastic read, and always you get the most enjoyment out of it by reading it for yourself. But with that said, let's get going. So, as we all know, Roboute Guilliman was awoken from his near-death stasis in the 41st millennium and has since spent his time trying to save his beloved Imperium. You know, it's beset by dangers from all sides, from within. It's not looking good. And together with the aid of Belisarius Cawl, he has unleashed the ultimate founding of the Primaris Marines. Primaris Marines, however you wish to say it. Now, during the course of the novel Dark Imperium, we are witness to a particularly interesting conversation deep aboard Guilliman's flagship, the Macragg's Honour. So behind several important, delve down deep, behind several security doors, if you will, there's like a secret vault. And inside this vault, contains the Cawl Inferior, which is essentially an artificial intelligence computer aboard Guilliman's flagship, like I said. And what it is Cawl has essentially copied himself and installed it into this computer for Guilliman to interact with. And he's uploaded it with as many questions that he could think of that Guilliman might ask. So he benefits from Cawl's advice in certain situations. And also Cawl himself uploads status reports and everything like that gets transferred, and then the Cawl Inferior then relays that to Guilliman. So let's just ignore the fact for now that the artificial intelligence is heresy according to the Adeptus Mechanicus, and let's just focus on the conversation that takes place. Now, the Primaris Space Marines. We have a century of data. How are they performing? Archmagos Belisarius Cawl repeats that all gene lines continue to operate at peak efficiency. Tested gene seed reveals a mutational deviancy of less than 0.001% per generation. All Adeptus Astartes chapters once again have access to the full suite of additional organs, replacing those zygotes lost through improper treatment or evolutionary variants, with the addition of the 3 new implants. All chapters who have adopted the Primaris paradigm have adapted to the new creation processes with minimal wastage of recruits or mistakes in implantation. As can be expected, those new Primari strain chapters founded by you, my lord, have the lowest error rate. The new equipment functions well. Requests for resupply with the new type of battle brother and their associated weaponry have increased, suggesting a 94% acceptance rate among the chapters. So far, so good, essentially, for the Primari Marines. Cawl's creations are performing well, and let's be honest, it's as expected, as they are going to be the future of the range, as we all know. It's only a matter of time, though, before the first one falls to chaos. Could that be happening with the arrival of Abaddon to Vigilus very soon? Maybe. But anyway, this interaction continues, and the next passage is where things get a lot more interesting indeed. What of those gene lines with more deeply ingrained flaws? Asked Guilliman. The Blood Angels and the Space Wolves. Cawl's research and his own reading had uncovered dangerous faults that the sons of both gene lines in question had done their best to hide. My standard response remains unchanged. Archmagos Belisarius Cawl understands your reservations. The corrected flaws in the new gene stocks show no signs of regression to previous unstable states, whether in the successor chapters composed entirely of the new Primari Marines or in already established chapters. Elimination entirely of the more idiosyncratic traits of some gene lines is, however, not to be recommended. they form part of the Emperor's original vision and are in any case crucial to their proper function. I will restate Archmagos Cool's position on this matter. The improved gene seed of 9th and 6th Legion stock is operating within acceptable parameters. Now, there's a couple of things that leapt out to me when I first read this. Firstly, they know about the curses afflicting both the Blood Angels and the Space Wolves, namely the flaw for the Blood Angels, which is got the red first and then later kind of includes the Black Rage too, and the curse of the Wolfen for the Space Wolves. But not only that both legions have tried to hide it from the Imperium. When Guilliman found this out, however, it doesn't explicitly say. Cool's research and his own reading. So, since his resurrection in the 40k timeline, and we can assume from that. But what did he think when he initially found that out? How did he react to that? Has he just kind of swept it under the carpet because he's got bigger fish to fry? We're not told what he thinks about this or what he thought when he found it out, but considering, he's still appointed Dante, chapter master of the Blood Angels, to warden of the entire Imperium Nihilus, it's safe to assume he's letting the matter rest for now. But what about in the future? Is he going to be taking some threats with that in the future? It looks like he's definitely trying to purify or purge the gene line as you going forward. And what would his brothers think about that? That is really, really interesting. So how would Russ, how would Sanguinius react to the thought that Guilliman is interfering in their gene seed, in their line, in their sons? Not favourably at all. Now, of course, you could say that Cool has done it by himself, but the way it reads to me is that Guilliman has definitely ordered Cool to work on them. Let me read through it again. Archmagos Belisarius Cool understands your reservations. The corrected flaws in the new gene stocks show no signs of regression to previous unstable states. Now, I'm a big Guilliman fan. I'm a big fan of all the Primarchs, really. But, when I was younger, when I was a kid, before the Primarchs returned, I loved Guilliman, as I'm sure most kids do at the time. It's only when you grow up and you start appreciating all the other chapters more so. But yeah, I've still got love for Guilliman. Papa Smurf, as he's not so favourably known in some quarters. But I'm not sure how I feel about him meddling in the gene seed of his brothers. I really don't think that would go down well. And while it doesn't look like, Sanguinius is going to be returning anytime soon, there's a lot of possibility for Russ returning, and I think Russ would be absolutely outraged when he finds out that Guilliman is interfering in his gene seed, in his sons. And, I think he'd be not only outraged, but furious. And I think that says everything it needs to, because Russ doesn't respond well when he's furious, to say the least. And in Guilliman's defence, well, he's the only remaining Primarch. He's the Lord Commander of the Imperium. He's the last remaining hope, if you will, until one of his brothers returns. But as far as he's concerned, there is no one returning. He's got to start taking some chances. He's got to start doing some drastic measures. He's got to cross some lines. And more curiously, perhaps maybe more to the point, it appears that the Emperor himself ingrained these traits into the Blood Angels and Space Wolves. The first of the Blood Angels, the Canis Helix of the Space Wolves, both an intentional design of Primarchs and Gene Seed, part of the Emperor's grand plan. It seems that the Emperor planned all along for the Blood Angels and Space Wolves to be among the most ferocious, if you will, of his legions. So, who is Guilliman to try and change that? The conversation then takes a very interesting turn, and I'll cover that. I'll save that for the next video, because that will take a bit longer to discuss, and again it leads to another really, really fascinating subject. But what do you guys think? Should Guilliman and Cool be interfering in the gene seed of the Blood Angels and Space Wolves? Is he interfering where his brothers would be opposed? Or, would he have their backing? Would they be appreciative of him trying to cure for want of a better word, their corruptions. Let me know what you think. And what do you think of the Emperor designing their gene seed this way all along? That's very interesting indeed. So the Emperor had this in mind all along. He had a very specific vision for each Primarch and each legion. But okay, that's it for today. Please leave a like and a subscribe, everyone. It really helps me to grow this channel and keep the content coming. I really appreciate it very, very much. And apologies for the delay this week, but the wisdom tooth pain really made things difficult, but the antibiotics have been helping a load, and I'm finally going to get it removed. But that is all for now. So with that said, I'll see you all again very, very soon.